In this video, we will take a closer look at the things that I hate about the Mavic Mini. Welcome to another video. I'm Henrik Olsen, and if you want to learn how to make better videos with your drone and camera in general, then consider subscribing and hitting the bell so you don't miss out on my weekly tips, tests and tutorials. I'm out here taking a Christmas walk, getting the legs exercised a little bit, and trust me, that is needed. After this Christmas with a lot of food, wine and beer, I need to do a lot of walking to compensate for that calorie budget. But I was sitting back home and I was thinking that I now had the Mavic Mini for around 2 months now, and there is some things about the Mavic Mini that I really don't like, and I actually think that it would be a good thing to get it off my chest. At least you should know what it is that I don't like about the Mavic Mini, so you can make your buying decisions on educated terms. The other morning I decided to go out and take an early flight, and I decided to take off from a bench, which was a really stupid decision, as the drone actually drifted into the back of the bench and wrecked the props. So I didn't even get out flying that morning. But that also meant that I had to change the props at some point. It's fairly easy to do it, but it is very fiddly. And you need to be aware to match the props to the right motor. And also the screws, they need to be replaced every time that you change them, because they are coated with Loctite that will make them stay in place. It's not a very beginner-friendly solution. And I don't know why DJI did that kind of solution. Maybe it was to save weight. But I do want to question how much weight they actually saved by selecting that kind of solution instead of the solution that they use on the more expensive drones, where you can just pop off the props and replace them with something else. They could have chosen to extend the shaft and then mount the props directly on that, like they did on their early Phantom models. So prop mounting is definitely not my cup of tea. Another thing that I don't really like is the lack of manual controls for the camera. They could easily have included a pro option that would allow us to play around with shutter and ISO. But I guess as they are not offering ND fillers to help slow that shutter speed down, it doesn't make sense to offer that option right now. But I know that a lot of vendors are starting to put out ND fillers for the Mavic Mini, so it would be really nice if DJI decided to upgrade the camera settings and include manual controls. While we're talking about manual camera settings, you might not want to mess around with ISO and shutter, but the white balance, that is really important to get a consistent look across your footage. And with that one, you can't put that one into manual, and that's a big flaw from DJI's side. That would be a fairly easy fix for DJI to fix. That would be fix, that's a lot of fix. That would be a fairly easy thing for DJI to change, and I hope they will do that in a future firmware update. So DJI, take me up on this and make a pro mode that will allow access to shutter, ISO and also manual setting of the white balance, similar to what you're doing on all your other products. Are you already a Mavic Mini owner, and is there something in this video that I left out that's important to mention? Then leave a comment below. I do want to say that the lack of sensors, that kind of test your flying skills. For a drone that is designed for beginners, it might sound pretty odd that there's no sensors on there to protect the drones against the collision. So that is the choice DJI made to keep the weight low. But it is pretty odd that you introduce a beginner drone without any sensors to help protect it from collision. With that said, I would say that it is a pretty durable drone. The accident I had with the bench, of course no props will survive that because it was against hardwood. But when I made this fly through here in a day or two ago, where I collided with some small branches, the drone just fell on the ground and I could pick it up afterward and nothing happened to the drone at all. So it is a durable little thing, but it is kind of odd that they brand it as a beginner entry-level drone but don't have any sensors to protect it. So you could argue that this will hone your drone flying skills right out of the gate. A lot of people out walking today. One small thing is that you can't leave the sticks on the remote and then close the case. Actually, I did show you that you could do that, but it's getting a little bit squeezed. And if you put it in your backpack, there is a slight chance that you would damage something because the sticks are pressing against the top lid of the case. It would have been fairly easy for DJI to modify the case in a way so the sticks could have been left on. A sneak peek into the royal garden. This is normally closed most of the year. It's open in July, so you can get inside. It can't be a surprise to you after watching some of my other videos that I don't like Wi-Fi drones and the connectivity that it offers. I first thought when I was trying out almost losing my drone in the US flying close to a hotel that something was wrong with my sample. But I actually don't think there is. It's simply a lack of broadcasting power provided by the CE version of the drone, flying in a really noisy Wi-Fi environment around the hotel. So you might say then just stop flying around areas that has polluted Wi-Fi, then you won't have any problems. And that is true. I actually tried it on an open field flying almost 400 meters away without any connectivity issues. But the problem is that it's not consistent. You don't know when this is going to happen. And the worst part is that it does a lot of unpredictable things when it starts to lose connection. I know that it auto lands if it's within 20 meters, so you have a fair chance of saving the drone if it starts to do that. But it's still not a very pleasant surprise when it starts to auto land over open water. If you're reading all the comments below the video that I made about the lost connection, and I can link it up here through this card here or in the description below if it doesn't show up here, then you will see that I'm not the only one seeing major issues with the drone flying around in non-disturbed areas. So I think the biggest downside to this drone, especially the CE model that has way less broadcasting power than the US version, is the connectivity, the Wi-Fi connectivity of the drone. That is something that you should really carefully consider before deciding to buy it. So does this mean that everything is wrong with the Mavic Mini? Not at all. I actually think it's a really nice product and it offers a tremendous value for $500. The Mavic Mini has a lot going for it. Who doesn't like the long flight time that it offers? Who doesn't like that it's so compact that every time that I go out I catch myself in throwing it in the backpack, just bringing it along in case there was a chance to go out filming with it. It actually does a pretty decent video quality. Of course it's not on par with the Mavic 2 Pro, and that's also a way more expensive drone, but the quality is pretty nice. So would I buy the Mavic Mini despite the flaws that I think it has? Yes, of course I would, because as I just mentioned, it offers a tremendous value for money. So it's a great beginner drone and you will have a lot of fun with it. You should just be aware about the limitations that I mentioned in this video before you go out buy it. By the way, did you see the video I made where I showed you how you can edit footage directly on your smartphone with the DJI Fly app? I think you would be surprised how powerful that editor actually is. If you missed that one, you can access it through this card. Also, if you want to watch other Mavic Mini videos here on the channel, I compiled a playlist that you can access through this card. I hope you liked this video. If you did, feel free to give it a like. If you didn't like it, feel free to press the dislike button twice. Thank you for watching and I'll be back on the next one.